The moment the vet scanned the dog, her hands started shaking. "Stay here," she whispered, and locked the door. Minutes later, the police were on their way. The family thought they had adopted a gentle giant stray German shepherd. They believed they were saving a lost dog. But he wasn't what he seemed. This wasn't a pet. It was something else entirely. What they discovered next would expose a government secret nobody was supposed to know. And what happened next left everyone speechless. It was just after sunset when the Henderson family spotted him near the edge of their farmland. At first, they thought he was a wolf. His frame was massive, far larger than any dog they'd ever seen. But as he stepped into the fading light, they realized he was a German shepherd, just unlike any shepherd they'd encountered before. His coat gleamed unnaturally clean. His eyes were sharp, intelligent, but distant. He didn't growl or run, he just stood there, watching. Quiet, still, almost waiting. For what, they didn't know. Tom Henderson whistled gently, expecting the dog to back off. Instead, it trotted forward, calm, confident, and oddly precise in its movements. The children gasped as it stopped a few feet from them and sat, straight as a statue. No collar, no tags, but not wild either. "He's lost," said Maria, the youngest, softly. "Can we keep him?" Tom exchanged a look with his wife. They lived on open land, miles from the nearest neighbor. Taking in a stray wasn't unusual out here, but something about this one felt different. They had no idea how right they were. They brought him home that night, unsure if he'd even stay. But the moment Maria opened the back door, the giant shepherd stepped inside like he belonged. He didn't sniff around nervously or explore. He simply sat beside the fireplace and stared at the flames, as if he had done it before. Maria named him Titan. "Because he's huge," she giggled, resting her hand on his back. Titan didn't flinch. In fact, he leaned into her touch ever so slightly. For a dog that size, his gentleness was surprising, almost unnatural. The family couldn't help but fall in love quickly. Tom posted photos online and checked with shelters, but no one claimed him. Days passed. Titan never barked, never begged. But every time Maria laughed, he turned his head sharply, watching her like a guardian. "He's got a soldier's soul," Tom joked once. They all laughed. But later that night, as Titan stood silently at the door, staring into the dark, no one was laughing anymore. By the end of the first week, the family began to notice things, small at first, but strange. Titan never barked, not once. Even when coyotes howled near the property line, or the mail truck rattled down the gravel road, he stayed silent. He also didn't sleep much. While the others rested, Titan would patrol the hallway, pausing at windows, staring out into the fields. Sometimes, he would stop at certain corners of the house and tilt his head. Ears perked, body still. It was as if he were listening to something no one else could hear. Then came the precision. When Tom accidentally dropped a tool in the barn, Titan was there in seconds, standing alert. When Maria tripped on the porch, Titan lunged forward and caught her before she hit the ground, like he anticipated the fall. The way he moved, reacted, even breathed, felt less like instinct and more like programming. He responded to gestures they didn't realize they were making. The Hendersons had adopted a dog, but Titan didn't behave like any dog they'd ever known. And while Maria adored him, the adults began to worry. Who or what was this animal really? Concerned but curious, Tom scheduled a visit to the town's only vet clinic. Titan sat calmly in the back of the truck the entire ride, motionless, watching everything. The vet, Dr. Keller, greeted them with a smile. But the moment Titan walked in, her expression changed. "He's big," she muttered carefully. She began a routine exam, checking his teeth, pulse, reflexes. But when she scanned for a microchip, the reader blinked, then blinked again. The screen turned red. Dr. Keller froze. She slowly turned to Tom and whispered, "Please stay here. I need to make a call." Without explanation, she left the room. Minutes passed. Titan remained still, but his eyes never left the closed office door. Tom shifted uncomfortably. Then he heard it. Dr. Keller's hushed voice on the other side. "Yes, it's him. The chip is active. What do I do?" A pause. "Understood." Tom stood up, heart racing. When she returned, she locked the exam room behind her and said something no pet owner ever expects. I need you to stay calm. The police are on their way." Within minutes, 2 unmarked black SUVs rolled up to the clinic. Armed men in plain clothes stepped out, flashing federal badges. One of them approached Dr. Keller with urgency, while another walked straight into the exam room. Tom instinctively stepped in front of Maria, who had insisted on coming. "Sir, step aside," the man said firmly. But Titan didn't move. He rose to his feet slowly, positioning himself between the man and the child, silent, unmoving, watching. The agent froze. "He's already bonded," he muttered. "That complicates things." His voice wasn't annoyed. It was worried. Dr. Keller handed over the scan results, and the agents huddled in the corner. Tom strained to listen. Words like Project Cerberus, military grade, deep decommissioned, and disappeared during training op surfaced. One agent pulled up a file on a secure tablet. Titan's photo appeared, only in it, he was in full tactical gear. "This dog," one whispered, "was designed for combat, not companionship." Maria reached out and gently placed a hand on Titan's head. He didn't flinch. He just leaned closer, and for the first time, one of the agents looked uncertain. The lead agent finally pulled Tom aside. His tone was low, serious. "That dog," he began, "is not a stray. He's property of a now-defunct government program, classified until 3 years ago." He went on to explain that Titan had been part of Project Cerberus, an experimental K9 unit bred and trained for elite missions. These dogs weren't just obedient. They could detect explosives, track targets across impossible terrain, and even recognize weapons from a distance. But the program was shut down after several dogs went missing during a failed transport op. Titan was presumed dead. Until now. Tom was speechless. "But he's harmless," he stammered. "He sleeps by my daughter's bed." The agent nodded solemnly. "He's bonded with her. That's what makes this difficult." The file listed Titan as a level 4 tactical asset. Technically, he should be retrieved and reassigned or decommissioned. But his behavior didn't match the cold, ruthless profile on paper. "Something changed him," the agent murmured, watching Titan sit protectively by Maria. "He's not just a tool anymore. He's made a choice. And that choice, for better or worse, was shaking the very system that created him." The agents requested to take Titan with them for further evaluation. When they reached for his leash, Titan's body tensed. He let out a deep, low growl, a sound that sent chills down every spine in the room. Maria screamed, clinging to his neck. "No, don't take him," she cried. Titan shifted his stance, placing himself squarely between her and the agents. His ears flattened, his gaze locked. He wasn't threatening, he was warning. "Stand down," one agent ordered, hand inching toward his tranquilizer. "Don't," said the other quietly. "He's protecting her, for real." Tom raised his hands. "Let's just talk," he said firmly. The room froze in a tense standoff. Dr. Keller spoke next, voice steady. "You can see it, can't you? He's not the same animal you trained." The lead agent looked at Titan again, then at Maria, her eyes red, face buried in his fur. A long silence passed. "If we force him," the agent admitted, "someone could get hurt. He was trained to fight for survival." Another agent muttered, "We created a protector, and now we want to punish him for doing exactly that." The air grew heavy with consequence. Titan stood like a statue, unmoving and alert, his gaze unwavering. One of the younger agents slowly crouched down, hands visible. "Titan," he said softly, using the dog's old command name, Echo 9. Titan didn't flinch. The man tried again, this time issuing a return command in code. Titan blinked, but didn't budge. Instead, he turned to Maria and nudged her hand gently with his nose. "He's ignoring protocol," the agent whispered. "He's overriding commands." The older handler stepped forward, visibly shaken. That shouldn't be possible. He was never programmed for emotional override. But it was happening, right in front of them. Maria whispered something into Titan's ear and hugged him tight. The room was silent except for her soft sobbing. Then the handler, eyes wet, turned to the others. "He's made his decision, and I'm not going to be the one to tear him away from her." It was a moment no one expected. A military-bred K9, built for war, had chosen love over duty. Titan stepped forward, head low, and placed his paw into the handler's open hand, like a final farewell to that part of his life. In that moment, even the coldest agents saw him not as property, but as family. The decision wasn't easy, but it was unanimous. The agency filed an emergency exemption, officially retiring Titan from service and allowing him to remain with the Hendersons. Maria's face lit up when they told her. Titan, as if understanding every word, let out a soft huff and laid his head on her lap. That night, the house felt different, not because it had changed, but because now they knew who was guarding it. The dog at their door wasn't just a pet. He had seen war, carried secrets, and walked through shadows. And now, he chose to protect a little girl.